So you're thinking of making your own nail colour. Maybe it's just for you, or maybe you want to enter the growing indie polish business. It doesn't really matter because the basics will be the same. So let's dive in and get started. Your Joss Franken Polish Pro Kit has 10 different liquid tinters, 360 ml of untinted base, 48 empty bottles with caps, brushes and ball bearings, 3 glitter mixers, 5 pearl pigments, a measuring scoop, mixing bottles, syringes for measuring, and a few small accessories that I'll discuss a little later in the video. Before we start mixing polishes, now's a good time to remind you that lacquer bases, tints and polish solvent are all highly flammable. You must exclude all possible sources of ignition, that's any naked flames or sparks, from the area in which you are using the polish making materials. There's a second video attached to the Franken Polish Pro Kit that shows how to measure out base and tints fairly quickly and easily. It uses a witch's hat cap on the bottle and a syringe. Refer back to it if you're having problems. First shade we'll make is just a red cream. Creams mix okay straight into the bottle, so let's measure out 9.5 ml of untinted lacquer base and add about half of this to the bottle. Next measure out 2.5 ml of red 6 tinner and add this to the bottle. Cap the bottle, give it a quick shake, and then add the rest of the untinted lacquer base and cap and shake again. And here's what you'll have. A nice red orange colour. Ready for the next shade? This time start with 9.5 ml of untinted lacquer base as before, and then I'll also measure out 1.5 ml of red 6 and 1.5 ml of yellow 5. Add about half the untinted base to an empty bottle as before, then the 2 tints, then cap and shake, then remove the cap and add the rest of the base and shake again. And this time your second shade will look a little more orange, just like this. Okay, here's number 3, where adding some white will give us a more pastel shade. Exactly the same mixing technique, 9.5 ml of base, 1.5 ml of red 6, 1.5 ml of titanium dioxide. And the result you'll get looks like this. Pale coral pink shade. We're up to number 4. Same technique, but this time we're using the black tinter to create a very deep purple. It's almost a black tone. Exactly the same mixing technique, 9.5 ml of base, 2 ml of red 6 tinner, and half a ml of black tinner. And the end result? A very deep and dark purple tone. I know it looks black, the vagaries of imagery. Number 5 uses just 2 ml of red 34 and 10 ml of untinted lacquer base. And the result? Just a lovely crimson red. Easy. Number 6 is a holographic shade. Measure 5 ml of untinted lacquer base, 6 ml of alu holo tint, and 1 ml of red 34. Add 2 ml of the base, then the alu holo and red 34 tints, then cap and shake before adding the last few ml of base. And the result is a beautiful pink holo. Number 7 is another holographic shade, where we'll use the black tinter N34 to create a purple shade. Measure 5 ml of untinted lacquer base, 5 ml of alu holo tint, 1 ml of red 34 and 1 ml of black. Add 2 ml of the base, then the alu holo, red 34 and black tints, then cap and shake before adding the last few ml of base. And you get this stunning purple holo. Looks fantastic under natural sunlight. Okay, beyond this point I'm suggesting a different mixing technique. Getting glitters and pearl pigments into polished bottles is always a challenge. But even if you manage it, then getting good mixing with the lacquer base is even harder. That's why your kit includes some small 50 ml mixing bottles. Pearls and glitters will easily and quickly mix into the polished base if the whole mixture has enough room to move around, which is where the 50 ml bottles work well. The only downside to using the 50 ml bottles is that you won't get all of the product you make back into the polished bottle. so the next few formulas are for 2 lots of 12ml bottles. So here's shade number 8. Into a 50ml bottle, add 17 ml of lacquer base with silica, 4 ml of blue 1, and 4 level scoops of multi-fizz number 2. There's a scoop included in your kit. Blue 1's an excellent tinter to make these jelly shades with, as it won't drown out the glitter. Here's the result, a beautiful, simple blue jelly glitter bomb polish. We're up to number 9, and this is a shimmer polish. Into a 50ml bottle, add 17 ml of lacquer base, 4 ml of red 7, and 1 level scoop of SCI 427 pearl pigment. Shimmers can produce brush stroke lines unless the amount of pearl additive is carefully controlled. Here's what you get. An elegant purple shimmer polish. Last colour, and to show you how to tone a shimmer polish slightly, this last shade goes back to the bottle mixing technique. Half fill a polished bottle with the colour made in Formula 9, and then add half a ml of titanium dioxide. Cap the bottle and shake, and then add the rest of the lacquer base. Cap and shake. And here's what you'll get. It's a lovely softened lilac shade where the muted shimmer shows through. Okay, that's your first 10 colours done, and hopefully by now you're feeling really comfortable with mixing the various raw materials and you already have some ideas of your own. Last but not least, there are a few little extras in your kit to help you along the way. You'll find 2 small bent plastic model fingers and some artificial nail tips that will slot into the grooves in the fingers. Use these to test colours as you make them to see what sort of coverage your creations have. Got any questions? Just use the contact form on the website to send us any questions, or call us on 1300 739 893 during business hours. Hope you have a lot of fun creating.